Last night was Hollywood's golden night, when TV, film, comedy, and drama are all jam-packed into one big, boozy celebration. The Golden Globes kick off award season, and last night the glue that held the awards together, hosts Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, shone as brightly as the awards they were giving out. They opened with a bang.
Good evening, I'm Tina Fey.
And I'm Amy Poehler.
Ricky Gervais could not be here tonight because he is no longer technically in show business.
We want to assure you that we have no intention of being edgy or offensive tonight because, as Ricky learned the hard way, when you run afoul of the Hollywood foreign press, they make you host this show 2 more times. The film, Catherine Bigelow, nominated tonight. Haven't really been following the controversy over Zero Dark 30, but when it comes to torture, I trust the lady who spent 3 years married to James Cameron.
You gave a stunning performance in Les Miserables. I have not seen someone so totally alone and abandoned like that since you were on stage with James Franco at the Oscars. The Hunger Games was one of the biggest films of the year, and also what I call the 6 weeks it took me to get into this dress.
Ang Lee's been nominated for Best Director for The Life of Pi, which is what I'm going to call the 6 weeks after I take this dress off. Meryl Streep is not here tonight. She has the flu, and I hear she's amazing in it.
Joining us to discuss the night is Mike Hogan, HuffPost Executive Editor of Arts and Entertainment. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. How's it going? Good morning.
They were so great. I mean, I was watching my Twitter feed, and it seemed to be that the common denominator was everyone saying more Amy, more Tina.
Yeah, they killed. And we didn't get that much of them because the Golden Globes is a very tightly run ship. It starts at 8, it ends at 11. But their opening monologue, as you saw, was great. I think it lays to rest the whole are women funny, you know, silly debate for all time. I think they're, actually, you see them
8 of the men.
Excuse me?
I hope you're right.
Yeah, and I think that you're able, you see that they're able to get off certain jokes that a man couldn't tell, which I think is fun, you know? Not just the stuff about, you know, dieting for the Globes, but actually like that zinger to Catherine Bigelow, I mean, if a guy said that, it wouldn't have been funny at all. But from them, it was great. It kind of had a solidarity aspect. So they were fantastic. They set the night off to a good start.
Well, usually the Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award is given to someone over 65 and is a general snoozer. But last night, it was awarded to 50-year-old Jodie Foster and was one of the most talked about moments of the night. Foster came out in graceful and fabulous fashion.
You know, I'm just going to put it out there, right? Loud and proud, right? So I'm going to need your support on this. I am single. I already did my coming out about 1,000 years ago, back in the Stone Age, in those very quaint days when a fragile young girl would open up to trusted friends and family, co-workers, and then gradually, proudly to everyone who knew her. But it will be my writing on the wall. Jodie Foster was here. I still am. And I want to be seen, to be understood deeply, and to be not so very lonely. Thank you, all of you, for the company. Here's to the next 50 years.
So, Mike, that was pretty powerful, quite powerful, I'd say. I watched it live. I saw how it went. A lot of people were saying it's not only powerful, but also it was a little bit confusing.
It was a rather confusing speech. It was kind of, you know, on a night that was a lot of zingers and one-liners, it was a kind of a thing that you had to settle in and figure out exactly what she was saying. She was playing with this idea that she was going to come out and make a kind of reality TV-worthy confession. In the end, it was a more subtle acknowledgement. Confession's the wrong word. Acknowledgement, you know, revelation. But clearly, I mean, she acknowledged her homosexuality in her way. She made it clear that she still values her privacy. And, you know, some people thought that she had retired from acting. Right. And Amy Kaufman, a reporter for the LA Times, got her afterwards and said, "Did you just retire for acting? Somebody just updated your Wikipedia." She said, no, that's not what I was saying at all. So it was, you know, it was a kind of, you know, actors are artists. They don't always speak in the most concrete terms, and this was an example of that. But I think it was powerful, and, you know, she had something she wanted to say.
It's a truth to power moment. I mean, she talked about homophobia in some ways, and she also talked about ageism, which I think is actually the greater common denominator for women in that room, where they can say, I don't want to hit 50 and feel like I'm being put out to pasture.
Yeah. and she looked amazing, and she didn't, you know, there was the last thing you thought was, oh, this woman should hang it up. I mean, that's why it was odd that that people thought that she was saying that. But yeah, it was, I mean, it certainly was, like you said, not the usual 1,000-year-old guy doddering out saying, thank you, it's been fun, you know, as I recall. This was like a very kind of big moment.
With a mini rehabilitation of Mel Gibson, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure I approve of.
It's going to take a lot more than that, I think, to rehabilitate Mel Gibson.
So who was the biggest star in the room? Judging by the flashes of cameras and roar of the ovation, it was former President Bill Clinton who presented the nominated film Lincoln.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton.
A tough fight to push a bill through a bitterly divided House of Representatives. Winning it required the president to make a lot of unsavory deals that had nothing to do with the big issue. I wouldn't know anything about that. President Lincoln's struggle to abolish slavery reminds us that enduring progress is forged in a cauldron of both principle and compromise. This brilliant film shows us how he did it and gives us hope that we can do it again. We're all here tonight because he did. Let's take a look at Steven Spielberg's extraordinary Lincoln.
Wow. What an exciting special guest. That was Hillary Clinton's husband.
That was Bill Clinton.
It was Bill Rodham Clinton. That's right.
Bill Rodham Clinton, so we know.
I loved George Clooney's reaction shot, because, you know, Clooney is a producer on Argo. And if this was a surprise to him, you get that kind of, he's like, oh my God, here we go. Spielberg, yeah, Spielberg calls up Bubba, brings him in, you know, Elvis to knock everybody's socks off about Lincoln. And, you know, everybody, like Life of Pi had Liev Schreiber, and then Lincoln has Bill Clinton. So it was a serious coup. I bet you Spielberg called him up to get him to do that. This is all part of really the Oscar race now. Like, we're all trying to position ourselves because voting is still open for the Oscars. But a cool moment. Amy Poehler's joke is amazing, and you know, he still got it. Bill Clinton, man, he can still light up a room. So Alicia is not saying anything.
It was the best. I mean.
Oh, you're for it.
Okay.
Was,
oh, so good. What was funny though was watching everyone always rail against Hollywood for being so liberal, and they all really lose their shit in real time.
Yeah,
Because oh my God, like the only thing I can think of is what if it were Barack Obama? I mean, they would have had full-on meltdowns.
Yes, yeah, and I'm sure they called Obama first because, you know, they screened Lincoln for him at the White House. I'm sure that was the goal, and they thought, all right, well, we'll take Bill. But a pretty great coup, public relations coup for Lincoln.
Well, the biggest winner of the night, there were many statues handed out, but the biggest newsmaker was probably Ben Affleck for his win for Best Director and Best Picture Drama. Affleck was not nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director, so the validation from the Hollywood Foreign Press added to the drama of the night.
And the Golden Globe goes to Ben Affleck, Argo.
Look, I don't care what the award is. When they put your name next to the names that she just read off, it's an extraordinary thing in your life. These nominees are exceptional talents. I truly, to God, never thought I would be in the same breath as them. I want to thank them.
And the Golden Globe goes to Argo.
I want to thank all the thousands of people that work in our diplomatic services that are putting their lives on the line every day of the week. This is for them.
So to me, this is the clear distinction between the Oscars and the Golden Globes. I mean, he's not even nominated.
Yeah. Well, this, as far as the actual awards race, yeah, and you know, you said validation. I mean, it's vindication and even vengeance, possibly, for Ben Affleck. Although he's been incredibly gracious about the whole thing. You know, he's not going to tell anybody that he's annoyed about not getting nominated for Best Director. But I mean, he's got to be. A lot of people thought he was going to win Best Director at the Oscars, and this result certainly kind of validates that. So it's nice that they had their night. You know, it's not the same thing as an Academy Award, but I like what he said. It doesn't matter what the award is. You know.
But you talk to publicists, you talk to people people are in this industry, and they have a very different sense of the Golden Globes and the Oscars in terms of what it takes to win one over the other. I mean, what is the process that goes into the Golden Globe nomination and then also winning a Golden Globe?
I mean, you know, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, we joke about it a lot, but it kind of, you know, think of the International Olympic Committee as far as levels of, you know, respectability and you know, this is a group that it's about 80 freelance journalists who write for overseas outlets. They get a lot of free, you know, dinners and transportation and screenings and things, and so there is a sense that, you know, these awards are up for sale to some extent. On the other hand, there are 6,000 members of the Academy, and they get a lot of free parties and dinners and all that other stuff. But they are members of the community. They're all professionals in film. So I think that's why the Oscar is always going to mean more. It's this very small group that gives out the Golden Globes. It's 6,000 very reputable members of the creative community who give out the Oscars. So that's the big distinction.
Best Picture, Comedy or Musical, was a race between Silver Linings Playbook and Les Miserables. And the music won.
We've seen the clips, and now here are the nominees. And the Golden Globe goes to Les Miserables.
Thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for recognizing the passion and love that went into this film. Thank you very much.
All right, so music over comedy there.
Yeah, this was a surprise to some extent because Silver Linings Playbook is in much better position at the Oscars with 8 nominations, and with those, you know, Tom Hooper did not get nominated for Best Director at the Oscars. He actually didn't even get nominated for Best Director here. So for them to win Best Comedy or Musical is a nice result. I think also Hugh Jackman beating Bradley Cooper. Those are 2 great results for Les Miserables that are going to be a bit tough to swallow for the Silver Linings Playbook crowd.
And this makes me ask, when I watch the Golden Globes, it feels like some of the awards are given because the foreign press doesn't quite think that the ones they're awarding the awards to are going to get the Oscar. It seems almost like a consolation prize.
You're like the best ice cream eater on the soccer team.
Yeah, I mean, I think they spread the awards out a little bit, and I assume with 80 people, there's probably some horse trading and some, hey, all right, we've given, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis got the, you know, Best Actor, so what can we do for Ben this year, you know? And there's always that kind of suspicion, like Leo DiCaprio getting nominated here, not for the Oscars. You know, they kind of just want Leo at the party, although I don't recall seeing Leo at the party, actually. Maybe he's learned his lesson on that. But there's plenty of room for doubt about the motivations of why these awards get handed out. And I think that's why it's best to view the whole thing as a fun party. You know, they serve alcohol, everybody's loose. It's not that kind of stressed out insanity of the Academy Awards, which we will enjoy watching next month.
And there were 4 Best Actor awards handed out last night, but Daniel Day-Lewis reminded us why Lincoln is such an important film. On the red carpet before the awards, Matt Lauer showed him this photo of an iconic moment when he attended a screening for Lincoln at the White House. And his speech underscored what an incredible role this was for him.
The nominees for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama are, and the award goes to Daniel Day-Lewis.
Steven Spielberg, a director, a humble master with a quicksilver imagination, as a friend, loving and kind, and by your generosity, a partner. You've given me an experience that I will treasure till the end of my life. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, even if Daniel Day-Lewis is going to win the Oscar, this is one that he's so good he can't be denied at all in the Golden Globes either.
Oh, yeah. No, this was like a slam dunk. I love that they're playing him off, though. They're like, get the orchestra going. Daniel Day-Lewis is talking too long. Like, can we just relax for 1 minute and let the guy finish? But, yeah, he's basically a lock to win the Oscar. He absolutely embodies Lincoln. This is a guy who doesn't take too many roles. In fact, earlier in award season, Spielberg read a letter from Daniel Day-Lewis turning down an earlier script of Lincoln, just saying, you know what, it sounds great. I can't wait to see the movie you make out of this, but I'm not going to do it. And Spielberg went back to scratch and hired Tony Kushner to write a whole new version of it. So, I mean, these 2 guys, this is a long gestating project that turned out really, really well.
Well, Jessica Chastain, last year a newcomer, was this year's Golden Globes darling. She took home the only award for the controversial Zero Dark 30, and the film also won the box office for this weekend.
Here are the nominees for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. And the award goes to Jessica Chastain, Zero Dark 30.
I've auditioned and struggled and fought and been on the sidelines for years. And to be here now in this moment, it's a beautiful feeling to receive this encouragement and support, and thank you so much. I have to thank my grandmother for teaching me to always believe in my dreams, and this is an absolute dream come true. Thank you so much.
Is that an effective message? I worked hard.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So this is an audition for the Oscar, right? So basically, you at your acceptance speech at the Globes, you try and like wow everybody so that they'll be like, oh, we should give it to her. She'll give a good speech at the Academy Awards.
Wow.
And what she's talking directly to the 2,000 or so actors who vote for the Oscars, saying, you know, I'm like you. And I've worked really, really hard for this. And I think subtext is Jennifer Lawrence is about 11, and she'll have her chance. I'm like, you know, who knows how old Jessica Chastain is.
I do need to ask a quick question about Jennifer Lawrence. She had that very weird acceptance where she got up and said, I won, and Meryl didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, has she self-sabotaged now?
That's a good question. I mean, I kind of find her charmingly,
I do as well.
You know, off the cuff, and she doesn't play the game, and that's kind of what I think a lot of people love about her. But the Academy members are, you know, picture like a room full of guys in their 60s, you know, and I don't know that they're going to be thrilled by that. That may have been actually a big mistake.
Well, in TV, the big winner was HBO's Girls. Lena Dunham won 2 big ones for Best Actress and for Best Comedy. Season 2 of the series premiered while the awards show was airing, and executive producer Judd Apatow managed expectations before the awards, joking that Modern Family always wins Best Comedy. Well, not this year. Lena Dunham looked shocked and touched when she accepted the award.
Golden Globe goes to
Lena Dunham, Girls.
This award is for every woman who's ever felt like there wasn't a space for her. This show's made a space for me. Thank you so much.
And the Golden Globe goes to Girls, HBO!
It took a village to raise this very demented child, and I hope everyone who was involved feels thanked every single day. I also promised myself that if I ever got this chance, I would thank Chad Lowe. I'm sorry, I just promised, and I promised my mom. Making this show and the response to it has been the most validating thing that I have ever felt. It's made me feel so much less alone in this world. I can't define it. Thank you. Do you guys want to make a sound?
Now, is that a Hilary Swank reference, thanking Chad Lowe?
Yeah, remember she forgot to thank Chad Lowe in her acceptance speech, and obviously it torpedoed their marriage because they ended up getting divorced. So I think Lena's trying to, you know, make it right now. But yeah, that was a really funny speech, and I think this is where the Hollywood Foreign Press Association kind of serves a great role because, you know, at the Emmys, it just seems like every year Modern Family wins, Modern Family, Modern Family. That group of voters can't seem to get out of their heads the fact that, you know, 20 million people watch Modern Family or Big Bang Theory and only 6 or 5 million watch Girls. And I think this group of journalists can kind of come in and be like, come on, this is a really amazing show. It's exceptional. It's creative. It's different. So it's nice. I think it's a great result. And I think, you know, good vindication for Lena.
All right, Mike Hogan, great to see you always. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Golden Globes nominees were all hoping to walk away with a golden trophy last night, but just as important are the style winners and losers. Just like this year's films, there were some big hits and some epic fails. Joining us to look at the best and worst looks of the night is Ellie Krupnick, HuffPost Associate Style News Editor. All right, let's jump in right with the best because there were so many good looks. Kristen Wiig. Looking amazing.
Amazing. And she didn't have a lot to do in this show. She wasn't, didn't have anything that was like huge nomination. She was just presenting. When she came on stage, I think she caught everybody's eye. She looks really sexy, but it's very simple and straightforward. This is Michael Kors, and she just really looks amazing. And it's nice, like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler got to do, when these funny girls who often are wearing the most hideous of costumes and whatever they're performing get to show that they're really beautiful.
Right, a lot of black and white last night. I mean, we saw both Tina and Amy wearing black and white. Also, Anne Hathaway, stunned in this white dress. Let's take a look. A lot of sequins there. Were you a fan?
I loved this. When she came out, I think it was really jaw-dropping because, again, it was very simple. And she's had a ton of red carpet moments over the past couple weeks, months, because of first from The Dark Knight, and then, of course, from Les Mis. And she's worn some questionable things. I think she likes to experiment, which is great. She has a great figure for it. But this, she kind of played it safe. and just a very simple Chanel column, and she really had the park. And not a lot of jewelry, just her skin is practically the same color as this dress. She was really ethereal.
And then there was Claire Danes, who I just learned has been pregnant during this entire last season of Homeland, looking absolutely amazing.
This is a woman who gave birth to a baby boy about a month ago. And it kind of, you don't even know how she does it. She gave birth about a month ago. She was pregnant at the Emmys. Here she is in red Versace. This is just bombshell. Her hair was blown out in this very glamorous blowout. This is just a plunging neckline. The dress kind of tapered around the waist, so it just wrapped around really sexily. She just looked like a yummy mummy.
Kerry Washington, who we can always count on to look just impeccable.
Yes, this Miu Miu dress was really interesting. One of the more interesting things we saw, because everyone else was really,
It's a pretty safe night overall.
It was a very safe night. A lot of just basic strapless, a lot of solid colors. This one was interesting, but not too far out there. It's hard to tell, but there's a tulle overlay that goes over a very plunging neckline and then a very short skirt. But it really worked on her, and she's very petite, so she can pull these things off. And she also has had an amazing promo tour for Django Unchained, and has just been wearing hit after hit after hit for the past couple weeks.
You know, everyone last night, you watch, everyone looks beautiful. I mean, they all have a team of people that are making them look beautiful. But one person I heard everyone responding to, like, wow, she looks truly amazing, was Kate Hudson.
Yes, and kind of out of nowhere, because Kate Hudson shows up a lot, even though she doesn't seem to be in that many movies these days. She came out, and this was fantastic. This is Alexander McQueen, and this is a dress that speaks for itself. It has like its own built-in accessories. I kind of saw this dress and thought, just change the backdrop, put her in a photo studio, and this is a Vogue cover dress. She just looks really, really amazing. She's also a recent mom.
Amanda Seyfried, who was up, I don't think she was up for an award, but she was up for Les Mis. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Oh,
this is Givenchy in blush. Amanda's a very fair girl, so it's hard to do a pale color because it might wash her out, and this was perfect. She was really, really luminescent. It's lace, and it has a halter top and then kind of tucks in again at the waist, and it's just so flattering, so beautiful. And she's really just one of these young style stars.
Yeah, and
really
then
gets it wrong.
And then Amy Poehler might have had my favorite look of the night. I thought she looked awesome.
So, can I say kick-ass? This was amazing. I think it was sexier than we ever imagined. I think Amy Poehler, when she wears a dress, she actually tends to play it safe. She's worn a couple of like cap sleeve, almost long sleeve dresses in the past, which is hard because she's very, very petite. So too much fabric is bad. And this, I thought it was so smart and so bold to just say, you know what, I'm gonna wear pants and I'm gonna wear a tuxedo jacket without anything under it. This Stella McCartney suit was amazing.
Especially given the number of dresses I saw that had wardrobe malfunction written all over them, the least of which was not Jessica Chastain's dress. Let's take a look at that.
This dress was incredibly worrisome. And she's really gorgeous, and she can wear the hell out of almost anything, but this Calvin Klein dress, it just had so many folds and little areas where you just thought it would fly open. When she accepted that award, and listen, I was so happy she got it. I thought Zero Dark There was amazing. But when she accepted that award and started to hug George Clooney, I just thought it was going to be her boobs accepting that award.
Now,
we thought we were so close to a malfunction.
Do you think before the show they get in their dresses and they do whatever they can to make sure nothing happens? And
you better hope so. I think that there's a lot of wardrobe tape involved, and you kind of tape down all the sides, but as we well know, that doesn't always...
There's always a slip.
Doesn't always head everything off at the pass. So we were a little worried, but honestly, save for that, there were not a lot of malfunctions last night. Everything went really smoothly. Some might say almost too smoothly to make it boring, but
I thought that was maybe why she had her hair so long, so she could flip it forward in a worst case scenario.
Strategic hairstyle.
Halle Berry, always, I mean, always.
This was really, really unexpected.
She's got some Angelina Jolie leg there.
Exactly, there was the one strap, there was the one leg, the bright print. We were told that this was Versace, and the minute I heard that, I thought, oh, it must have been dug out from the archives of the early 90s. That's what this print seems like early 90s Miami, and in fact, it's not. It's from last year, I think. This was just strange. I mean, she can really wear anything, and because her body is so amazing, she looks better in a black dress that just shows it off. This was a little too busy.
Yeah, and the one shoulder, I'm ready for the one shoulder thing to be over.
Yes, and we didn't see a lot of it this time. Not so many mermaid dresses and not so much one shoulder, but Halle Berry is still sticking to her guns.
Juliana Renkic, who's not there to accept an award, but is, of the red carpet.
And omnipresent, of course, on this red carpet.
Oh,
this
yikes.
dress was strange. She just looks like an insect in some way. She has long, spindly arms and this weird black netting at the top. You can't really tell here, but her makeup was also very strange. I think this would have taken like a smoky eye, and she wore this maroon lipstick that just was very weird. It was borderline goth, and I don't think anybody understood it.
And then Lena Dunham, big winner in
Yes.
the awards department, not so much.
Yeah, and everyone's rooting for Lena in every sense, even the fashion editors. We all want her to look amazing. You know, she's so proud of her body, as she should be. This was really not her best look. The dress was too big. You know, it just wasn't flattering. Everybody has a shape that's gonna flatter them. This off the shoulder, it makes her look very wide. It's a very structured dress, so it kind of encases her, not in a good way. And this color was kind of somewhere between chocolate and raisin. It was just really, it kind of dates her.
And if the dress is so long, you'd think that perhaps she would have worn flats underneath so she could get to the stage with equilibrium.
She has a notorious heel walking problem. The HuffPost style staff, we were at the Glamour's Women of the Year Awards a couple months ago when she also accepted a Women of the Year award, and she kind of hobbled on stage, and the first thing she did when starting her speech was take her shoes off. She's like, you know, guys, I just have to take these off. And we kind of were hoping she was going to do the same because she clearly can't stand in them. But I guess she thought it was too big a stage.
All right, Ellie, great to see you as always.
Thanks.
You are watching HuffPost Live. This conversation and others continues right here.